more fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship.
Barack and Michelle Obama's marriage of 32 years has sparked widespread public interest. Their relationship started in 1989, but recent rumors about them splitting up have gained traction on social media. A Facebook page with 57 million followers shared these claims. The post went viral with over 1,600 reactions and 2,260 comments about what they dubbed the bombshell divorce of the century. Now the story has taken an unexpected turn as people look at their daughter Sasha's viewpoint on her family's private matters. In this video, we'll find out the full story. Come along, why did Sasha choose Valentine's Day to speak? Sasha Obama's recent public appearance in Los Angeles has got people talking, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. She looked visibly upset, almost lost in thought, clutching a handful of books like she was somewhere else in her mind. It was her first time being seen in public since all those whispers about her parents' marriage started floating around, and let's just say it didn't exactly ease the speculation. You know how sometimes you can just see that someone is going through something even when they're trying not to show it? Yeah, that's exactly the vibe Sasha was giving off. And of course, the internet didn't waste a second before putting two and two together. But here's the thing, her timing, it raises even more questions, because let's be real, Michelle Obama's recent absences from some major events have only added fuel to the fire. First, she was noticeably missing from Jimmy Carter's funeral, and when asked about it, her office simply said she had a scheduling conflict because of an extended vacation in Hawaii. But then people remembered she also didn't show up for Donald Trump's inauguration, and this time there wasn't even a proper explanation. Now granted, we all know that there have been rumors that the Obamas weren't exactly Trump's biggest fans. Whether the gossip is right or wrong, the former First Lady's absence was enough to make people start piecing things together. Was she just avoiding the political scene altogether, or was something more personal going on behind the scenes? What if everything you thought you knew about Michelle and Barack Obama's marriage was only half the story? Now, in a shocking turn of events, Sasha Obama, their youngest daughter, has finally broken her silence. What does she know that the world doesn't? What truth has she been holding on to all these years? You're not going to want to miss this one, so stick with me till the end, because the reason she just revealed is not what anyone expected. And let's not forget how Michelle used to be when it came to celebrating milestones like Valentine's Day. Every year, without fail, she'd post these warm, heartfelt messages which were always accompanied by the cutest throwback pictures. Who could forget that iconic snow angel photo with Barack and their daughters? It was the kind of picture-perfect moment that made you believe in love and family unity. And Barack? He always called her his forever dance partner. But this year, radio silence. Not even a sweet little caption post. And if there was ever a time people were going to read into things, it's now. Now, of course, relationships evolve, and Michelle has been open about that. She even told Oprah Winfrey that parenting took up a huge chunk of their emotional energy, and now that they're empty nesters, they're rediscovering their dynamic, which in theory sounds great, right? But what happens when two people finally step back from the roles they've played for decades and realize they've changed in ways they never anticipated? That's what's got people wondering, especially since Michelle seems to be stepping away from Washington, D.C. more and more these days. Both Sasha and Malia now live in Los Angeles, and if you think that move wasn't a little telling, think again. A lot of people expected at least one of them to stick closer to D.C., given their upbringing. But no, they're both all the way across the country, living their best California dreaming lives. And while it's completely normal for young adults to move away and carve out their own paths, it does make you wonder, was this just about independence, or did they also need some distance from whatever was happening back home? And then there's Barack's birthday message to Michelle. On the surface, it was fine, simple, sweet, and respectful. But when you look a little closer, the photo choice was interesting. You know how when couples post each other, you can almost feel the love through the screen? Well, this one felt different. Not cold exactly, but certainly not as warm as the posts we've seen in the past. And then people started asking, why weren't they together to celebrate? It's little things like this that people pick up on. And when you combine them with the other signs, well, let's just say the internet detectives are working overtime. Now, none of this is confirmed, of course. The Obamas have always been pretty private when it comes to personal matters, and their daughters even more so. Sasha and Malia have never been the type to air family drama in public, which makes Sasha's mood during her recent outing all the more noticeable. Because let's be real, when you're the child of a public figure, you get really good at keeping a neutral face, even when things are rough at home. So for Sasha to be looking that visibly down, it says something. And people are definitely paying attention. At the end of the day, only the Obamas really know what's going on behind closed doors. But if history has taught us anything, it's that the public can always sense when something's off. And right now, something definitely feels off. For the children, their family dynamic has definitely shifted, and it's no longer just about growing up and stepping into adulthood. It's about watching their parents navigate something real. Michelle, who's always been honest about the challenges of marriage, recently admitted to something that so many women, especially mothers, can relate to. She said she felt resentful at times because she had to put her own career on the back burner to raise their daughters. And it wasn't one of those situations where everything was split evenly. No, she straight up said they were biased. There were times when I felt I was 70% in and he was doing 30%. And that is a big admission, because how many women out there have felt the exact same way but never had the space to say it out loud? The truth is, relationships aren't always equal, and sometimes one person ends up carrying more of the weight. But does that mean there's no love? Absolutely not. It just means it takes work, sometimes a lot of work, to keep things balanced. But even with all that honesty, here's the thing. The respect between Barack and Michelle, it's still there. Even when things weren't perfect, even when they had their biggest arguments, they never tore each other down. Barack made it clear that no matter what, they never got to that place where they saw each other as bad people. And that's rare, right? Because when couples argue, it's easy to let emotions take over and say things that cut deep. But for them, that line was never crossed. Even in their worst moments, they held on to mutual respect. And that's probably why, despite all the ups and downs, they're still standing strong. Michelle and Barack Obama's love story was supposed to be the definition of happily ever after. But as we've seen time and time again, even the most perfect looking relationships can have secrets lurking beneath the surface. And now, just when people thought they had all the answers, Sasha Obama has dropped a revelation that changes everything. Keep watching, because the truth is bigger than anyone imagined. Michelle Obama launches new career path. Michelle Obama's career has taken a fascinating and unexpected turn. And let's be honest, who saw this coming? Just when people started whispering about her marriage and throwing around those never-ending divorce rumors, she made a surprise return to Instagram. But instead of addressing the speculation directly, she did what she does best, focused on the bigger picture. This time she announced a major partnership with Reach Higher and the American School Counselor Association, reinforcing her deep commitment to education and student success. It's a classic Michelle move. Ignore the noise and get back to work. But really, isn't that what makes her so intriguing? Like, she never feeds into drama, even when the whole world is waiting for her to. If you've been paying attention, you might have noticed that Michelle has been slowly but surely stepping away from anything that feels too political. This shift isn't out of the blue. It actually goes way back to her childhood in Chicago. Growing up, she saw firsthand how messy and self-serving politics could be, and it left her with a deep sense of skepticism. So instead of diving headfirst into that world, she chose a different path. She started out as a corporate lawyer, but even then, she wasn't about that typical climb the corporate ladder life. She used her position to advocate for better hiring practices, ensuring that more diverse candidates had a shot at success. But even that wasn't enough for her. She needed work that felt deeply meaningful. So she pivoted, taking on roles in the Chicago mayor's office and later at Public Allies, where she helped young people find careers in public service. Her impact only grew when she moved into healthcare. At the University of Chicago Medical Center, she wasn't just sitting in some office making decisions from a distance. She was on the ground leading initiatives to make healthcare more accessible for everyday people. As executive director of community affairs, she created programs that connected patients with resources they desperately needed. Everything she touched seemed to have the same core mission: empowering people, especially those who are often overlooked. Fast forward to her time as First Lady, and you see that same commitment on a national and even global scale. She launched major initiatives that tackled issues close to her heart, from childhood obesity, military family support, education, and global girls empowerment. Remember Let's Move? That was her way of fighting childhood obesity, turning school lunches upside down and getting kids more physically active. Then came joining forces, which was all about supporting military families, but one of her most personal projects was Reach Higher, which encouraged students, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds, to pursue higher education. And let's not forget Let Girls Learn, which focused on making sure girls worldwide had access to education. It's like every chapter of her life has been leading to this, using her platform to create real lasting change. In 2021, she hinted at moving toward retirement, but let's be real. Michelle Obama isn't the kind of person who just fades into the background. Sure, she scaled back on traditional political involvement, but she never stopped working. Instead, she focused on projects that gave her more creative freedom and control, like her production company Higher Ground, which she runs with Barack. Through documentaries, films, and books, she's found a new way to keep shaping the national conversation without being confined to Washington's political games. And speaking of books, she's now a 3-time best-selling author with Becoming the Light We Carry, and her upcoming works keeping her on the literary map. Even as she keeps a lower profile, Michelle still has the kind of presence that commands attention. A few months ago, she was spotted having dinner with her brother Craig Robinson at Mother Wolf, a trendy LA restaurant. Seems harmless, right? But here's the kicker. Security had to shut down an entire street just for her visit. It was a subtle reminder that even though she's no longer in the White House, she's still a major public figure, someone who draws attention wherever she goes. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, those marriage rumors. They've been swirling for a while, and every time she and Barack are spotted separately, people go into overdrive trying to read between the lines. The truth, neither of them has said a word about it, and honestly, that silence speaks volumes. Michelle's always been someone who keeps her private life just that, private. And while speculation runs wild, she's out here doing what she's always done, focusing on things that actually matter. Her current approach to public life is a masterclass in reinvention. She's no longer just the former First Lady, she's a thought leader, an advocate, a businesswoman, and an author. She's shaping conversations on education, health, and social justice, all while keeping herself independent from the political machine. In many ways, she's proving that you don't need an official title to make a difference. And maybe, just maybe, that's the biggest lesson she's teaching all of us right now. Barack Obama focuses on global projects. Barack Obama's life after the presidency has been nothing short of eventful, but lately his name has been making the rounds for reasons far beyond politics. Divorce rumors, yes, they're swirling again, but while the internet loves to speculate about his marriage, Obama himself seems too busy crisscrossing the globe, stacking up speaking engagements, and pushing forward with his legacy projects to pay much attention. And let's be honest, when has he ever been the type to feed into drama? The man has bigger fish to fry. One thing about Obama, he knows how to turn his post-presidency years into something meaningful. He's been on the international speaking circuit, delivering speeches left and right, sometimes for a whopping $400,000 a pop. Can you even imagine? That's a whole house in one speech. And what did he do with his first batch of earnings? He didn't splurge on some extravagant luxury. He donated $2 million to job training programs for low-income residents in Chicago. That's classic Obama. Even when making money, he finds a way to pay it forward. His speeches are a mix of paid and unpaid gigs, proving that it's not just about the money, it's about the message. His senior advisor, Eric Schultz, even made it clear, no matter where he speaks, no matter who's cutting the check, Obama will always stay true to his values. And really, isn't that why people still admire him? The former president has been racking up high-profile appearances too. He sat down with German Chancellor Angela Merkel in Berlin, making the world wonder, what exactly were they discussing? Global politics, leadership advice, the best way to stay cool under pressure? Who knows? Then he spoke at the Global Food Innovation Summit in Italy, probably inspiring a whole new wave of young changemakers. And let's not forget that he received the John F. Kennedy Profile in Courage Award in Boston, an honor that just cements his legacy even further. But one of the biggest headlines, his book deal. Oh, and not just any book deal, a record-breaking one. Penguin Random House secured the global rights to publish books by both Barack and Michelle. And let's just say the numbers are jaw-dropping. Somewhere between $30 million and $65 million is what's being tossed around. To put that into perspective, Bill Clinton's memoir brought in $15 million, and George W. Bush's Decision Points landed him $10 million. Obama's deal blows those out of the water, and it makes sense. Like his previous books, Dreams from My Father, The Audacity of Hope, and Of Thee I Sing, sold over 4 million copies combined and made him over $10 million. The anticipation for his presidential memoirs is off the charts, especially since he kept a journal during his time in the White House. And in true Obama fashion, he's not just pocketing the money and calling it a day. The Obamas have big plans for their earnings. They're giving a chunk of it to charity, helping fund the Obama Foundation, donating 1 million books to disadvantaged children through First Book, and supporting Open eBooks, a project from Michelle's White House days that provides digital books for kids who need them most. So where does all of this leave Barack Obama? On one hand, he's still one of the most influential figures in the world, commanding attention wherever he goes. On the other, his legacy projects are facing real challenges, and the rumors about his marriage aren't exactly dying down. But if there's one thing history has shown, it's that Obama is a long game kind of a guy. He doesn't react to every headline. He doesn't get rattled by every controversy. He just keeps doing the work, whether it's through speeches, books, charity initiatives, or his presidential center. One thing is clear, he's not done shaping the world just yet. Rumors of Michelle Obama's divorce was a shock to millions, but what if I told you that the biggest surprise was yet to come? The truth is out, but it's not what anyone expected. Keep watching, because this story takes a turn that no one saw coming. Warning signs everyone missed. The Obama White House years looked like the picture of a perfect marriage. Two people deeply in love, supporting each other every step of the way, raising their daughters with grace, and standing strong in the face of political storms. But was it really that simple? Of course not. No marriage is. And when you throw in the pressures of the presidency, the public scrutiny, and the emotional weight of raising kids in the most famous house in America, things get a lot more complicated. Barack and Michelle Obama kept their struggles behind closed doors, but little cracks in the foundation were always there, even if most people never noticed. Barack himself admitted as much in his memoir, where he wrote about this undercurrent of tension in Michelle, something that never exploded into outright conflict but was always there, humming quietly in the background like a machine running in another room. He could sense it even when she didn't say a word. And when he looked back on their early years, the times before politics swallowed their lives whole, he realized how much lighter things used to feel between them. Michelle's smile was more effortless, her energy more at ease, but as time went on, as his political career took over, the weight of everything seemed to settle onto her shoulders in a way he didn't fully grasp at the time. Yet despite all of this, despite the challenges and the private battles, Michelle never wavered in her commitment to their marriage. She always believed that love isn't about never having rough patches, it's about pushing through them. And Barack? He never stopped admiring her, never stopped being in awe of the way she handled everything. Even in the hardest moments, there was still love, still deep respect. And maybe that's what made their relationship so strong. Not perfection, but the willingness to keep showing up no matter how heavy the load. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.